What if I told you that the way you handle life's toughest moments could completely transform your relationships, your stress levels, even your sense of purpose? In this video, we're diving into a timeless mindset, one that's helped countless people stay calm in chaos, respond with strength, and live with greater clarity. It's not just theory, it's a practical guide you can use starting today. And if you stay with me until the end, you won't just hear about it. You'll walk away with real, actionable tools that can change the way you think, feel, and show up in your daily life. Because how you respond truly shapes who you become. So stick around. This might be the most powerful 5 minutes you give yourself all week. It might not always feel that way. Life throws curveballs. A loved one says something hurtful. A coworker undermines you in a meeting, or an unexpected crisis turns your world upside down. Instinct kicks in. The urge to snap, defend, shut down, or lash out can feel overwhelming. But here's what the Stoics, and countless people through the centuries, have discovered. There is a sacred space between stimulus and response. In that space lies your freedom, your peace, and your strength. You see, reacting is easy, it's automatic. But responding, that's intentional. It's the quiet voice inside that says, wait, breathe, think. It's the ability to stay grounded when emotions are rising and to make choices that reflect who you really are, not just how you feel in the heat of the moment. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That insight still holds true today, perhaps more than ever in a world that's constantly pulling at our attention and emotions. So the next time life tests your patience or your pride, remember this. No matter the storm outside, your inner world is yours to command. And in that command lies the power to live a life not just of reaction, but of quiet, resilient purpose. There's a moment we've all lived through. Someone says something that stings, a driver cuts us off, or plans fall apart in an instant. And just like that, we're triggered. Our heart rate spikes, emotions take over, and before we know it, words fly or doors slam. That's what it means to react. It's fast, it's impulsive, and often it makes things worse. But there's another path, one we don't talk about enough. It's the path of response. Slower, quieter, more deliberate. It's not about ignoring what happened or pretending you're unaffected. It's about pausing just long enough to choose your next move with intention. The difference between reacting and responding can change everything, from relationships to careers to inner peace. When you react, the situation controls you. When you respond, you take the wheel. That small pause, just a breath, just a beat, can turn conflict into understanding, anger into clarity, and chaos into calm. The Stoic philosophers believed that, while we can't control what happens to us, we can always control how we interpret and engage with it. That's not just ancient wisdom, it's deeply practical. In today's world, where everything moves fast and emotions run high, the ability to respond rather than react isn't just helpful, it's a form of strength. It's the kind of quiet resilience that builds trust, earns respect, and protects your peace of mind. And it's something we can all practice. One choice, one breath at a time. So the next time life presses your buttons, ask yourself, do I want to react? Or do I want to respond? That single question may be one of the most powerful tools you'll ever carry. Life has a way of throwing things at us we never asked for. An unexpected diagnosis, a financial setback, a loved one's harsh words, or the slow unraveling of something we once depended on. It's natural to feel overwhelmed, even powerless. But the ancient Stoics, like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, left behind a timeless reminder. You can't control everything, but you can always control how you respond. That, they believed, is where real strength begins. This philosophy isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything's fine. It's about drawing a line between what's within your reach and what's not. You can't control the weather, other people's opinions, or how traffic behaves on a Monday morning. But you can control your attitude, your habits, your words, and how you show up when things get hard. When you start focusing on that inner circle of control, something remarkable happens. Your anxiety begins to lift, your energy becomes more focused, and your days feel less chaotic. In a world that bombards us with headlines, deadlines, and distractions, Stoicism gives us a powerful filter. It says, let go of what's outside your influence and pour your heart into what you can shape, your thoughts, your values, your choices. That shift alone can create a sense of peace, even in the middle of a storm. The next time you're facing something that feels unfair or out of your hands, pause and ask, is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. If the answer is yes, take action. This mindset doesn't make life easier, but it makes you stronger, calmer, and more grounded in the face of it. And sometimes, that's the best kind of victory we can ask for. It happens fast. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Your spouse says something sharp. A coworker drops the ball again. Your heart pounds, your jaw tightens, and you feel the urge to react. But right there, before the words come out, before the email gets sent, you have a choice. It's small, quiet, and easy to miss, but it's there. It's the pause. The Stoics believed that between what happens to us and how we respond lies a sacred space. In that space is our power, not to control the world, but to govern ourselves. That pause, even if it's just a few seconds, can mean the difference between regret and resolution. It can save a relationship, de-escalate a conflict, or simply help you hold on to your peace. Think of it like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And the pause doesn't have to be dramatic. Sometimes it's a deep breath, a short walk, a silent prayer, a glance out the window. These are tiny rituals of self-mastery that help you return to your values instead of your impulses. They give you just enough distance to ask yourself, what's the best version of me want to do right now? Especially as we grow older and wiser, we realize that not every battle is worth fighting. Not every comment deserves a comeback. The pause reminds us that we're not slaves to our emotions. We're stewards of them. And in a world that rewards quick reactions, choosing to pause is a quiet act of strength and wisdom. So the next time you feel yourself heating up, try it. Pause. Breathe. Let the moment pass through you. And watch how your world begins to change, one breath at a time. Life throws us curveballs, a job loss, a health scare, a failed relationship. And when these moments hit, it's easy to see them as roadblocks, proof that life isn't fair or that we're somehow falling short. But what if we looked at them differently? The Stoics were masters of this. They practiced a powerful mindset tool called reframing, changing the way we see a challenge so that we can change the way we meet it. Instead of seeing hardship as punishment, they saw it as training. A delay at the airport, a chance to practice patience, a difficult coworker, a test of character, a health issue, a reminder to realign with what truly matters. Reframing isn't about denial or toxic positivity. It's not saying everything's fine when it isn't. It's saying, even in this, there's something I can learn, something I can shape, and something I can rise to. Modern psychology backs this up. Cognitive reframing helps us reduce stress, build resilience, and take ownership of our experience, even when we can't change the circumstances. It's not magic, it's a skill. And like all skills, it grows with practice. Many of us, especially in midlife and beyond, carry stories from our past, disappointments, setbacks, should-have-beens. Reframing invites us to look again, to ask, what did I gain? What strength did I build? How did I grow? Through that pain? When you learn to change the frame, the picture changes. What once felt like failure may reveal itself as preparation. What once felt like loss may point towards something new waiting to be born. It's not about pretending hardship is easy. It's about recognizing that how we see it can make all the difference in how we live through it. When most people hear the word mindfulness, they picture someone sitting cross-legged on a mountaintop, eyes closed, breathing deeply. But mindfulness isn't just for yogis or monks. It's a practical, everyday skill, one the ancient Stoics practiced long before the word became popular. At its core, mindfulness simply means paying attention, on purpose, in the present moment, without judgment. And in a world that constantly pulls us in 1,000 directions, that's no small thing. The Stoics knew that without awareness, we're at the mercy of our emotions. We react out of habit, get swept up in stress, and miss the quiet signals that guide better choices. But when we slow down, when we become more mindful, we create space to respond with clarity and purpose. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about stepping back to observe his own thoughts. That's mindfulness. Seneca encouraged daily reflection. That's mindfulness too. And today, science supports what the Stoics already knew. Mindfulness reduces anxiety, improves focus, and strengthens emotional resilience. It's not about escaping life. It's about showing up more fully for it. Whether you're walking the dog, making your morning coffee, or sitting in traffic, any moment can become a moment of mindfulness. Just breathe. Notice. Come back to now. Especially for those of us in the second half of life, mindfulness becomes even more meaningful. It reminds us that each moment, no matter how ordinary, is a chance to live with greater depth and awareness. We don't need to change everything about our lives. Sometimes we just need to change how we see and feel what's already here. So if you've been searching for more peace, more presence, or just a bit of calm in the chaos, start here. Start with one breath. Start with right now. It's easy to move through life on autopilot, reacting to stress, repeating old habits, getting caught in familiar emotional loops. But if there's one lesson both the Stoics and modern psychologists agree on, it's this: real change begins with self-awareness. Before we can respond thoughtfully to life, we have to first understand what's going on inside us. The Stoics placed tremendous value on introspection. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, filled journals with reflections on his thoughts, impulses, and behavior, not to criticize himself, but to better understand his patterns and stay anchored in his values. That kind of honest self-examination is what turns emotional reaction into mindful response. Self-awareness doesn't mean you have to become a philosopher. It simply means checking in with yourself. It's asking, Why did I react that way? Or, what emotion am I actually feeling right now? It's pausing long enough to observe the storm instead of being swept away by it. The truth is, many of us were never taught to sit with our feelings, name them, or question them, and yet doing so is the first step to responding with wisdom. For adults in their 30s, 50s, or 70s, self-awareness becomes a compass. It helps us navigate difficult conversations, face personal triggers, and break cycles that no longer serve us. The more clearly we see ourselves, the more intentional we become in our words, actions, and relationships. And here's the good news. Self-awareness is a skill, not a personality trait. It can be built through journaling, quiet reflection, honest feedback, or simply carving out moments of stillness. The goal isn't to judge yourself, but to understand yourself. Because the more you know your inner world, the better you can shape your outer one. There's a common misunderstanding about Stoicism, that it teaches us to bury our feelings, to be emotionless, even indifferent. But that couldn't be further from the truth. The Stoics didn't deny emotions, they respected them. What they aimed to do was understand emotions, manage them, and keep them from running the show. It wasn't about being numb. It was about being grounded. Emotions are part of being human. Anger, fear, sadness, even joy. These aren't the enemy. But the Stoics warned against becoming slaves to them. When we act out of blind rage or unchecked anxiety, we lose control, often saying or doing things we later regret. What Stoicism teaches is that we can feel deeply and still respond wisely. That's the difference. Think about it this way. Your emotions are signals, not commands. They tell you something important, but they don't get to decide what happens next. You do. That's emotional mastery. It's not about shutting down, it's about showing up with awareness, intention, and courage. For many of us, especially as we navigate the challenges of adulthood, parenting, aging, relationships, career shifts, this balanced approach to emotion is powerful. It helps us become calmer in conflict, more compassionate in conversations, and more resilient when life throws us off course. And like any skill, mastering emotion takes practice. It starts with noticing, I'm feeling triggered, then asking, why? And finally choosing, how do I want to respond? That space between emotion and action, that's where Stoicism lives. That's where strength is built. So no, Stoicism doesn't ask you to feel less. It invites you to feel more clearly, to turn emotional storms into steady inner ground. And in a noisy, reactive world, that kind of emotional wisdom is not just refreshing, it's revolutionary. You don't have to sit on a mountaintop or retreat into silence to practice Stoicism. The truth is, life gives us all the practice we need, every single day. That frustrating phone call, the family member who pushes your buttons, the coworker who always has something negative to say, the unexpected traffic jam, the long grocery line, the moment when your plans suddenly fall apart. These are the real-world classrooms where Stoic wisdom shows its worth. The beauty of Stoicism is that it doesn't ask you to escape life. It asks you to engage with it differently. When something goes wrong, you can panic, complain, or stew in frustration. Or you can pause, reflect, and respond with calm. That shift, though simple, changes everything. It turns chaos into clarity. It brings dignity to everyday moments that might otherwise feel small or stressful. Think about your daily routine, emails, errands, conversations, small decisions. Each one is a chance to choose your response, to practice patience, to stay anchored, to lead with values rather than emotions. It's not glamorous, but it's powerful. And over time, it adds up. Stoicism is most meaningful not when life is quiet, but when it's messy. When you're tired, stretched thin, and still choose to breathe instead of break. That's where the real growth happens. And the good news? You don't need to get it perfect. You just need to keep showing up. Whether you're dealing with stress, at work, family tension, or your own inner doubts, remember, these aren't obstacles to Stoic practice. They are the practice. Every moment is an opportunity. Every interaction is a test. And every response you choose is a step toward a steadier, wiser, more grounded you. In a culture that often celebrates quick fixes and instant results, Stoicism offers something deeper and slower. It reminds us that real growth doesn't happen overnight. Learning to respond instead of react is a lifelong practice, not a one-time achievement. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence. Every day brings a new opportunity to strengthen your inner discipline. Some days, you'll respond with calm and clarity. Other days, you'll snap, regret it, and learn something in the process. That's part of the journey. Even the great Stoic thinkers, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, admitted to falling short at times. What made them wise wasn't that they never faltered, but that they reflected, adjusted, and kept going. This mindset is especially meaningful as we grow older. With age often comes perspective, but also new challenges, health changes, family transitions, shifting roles in society. Stoicism helps us stay grounded through it all, offering a compass when the path ahead feels uncertain. It says, show up. Reflect. Do your best today. And when tomorrow comes, try again. One powerful Stoic tool is evening reflection. Take 5 minutes before bed to ask yourself, where did I react? Where did I respond? What can I do differently tomorrow? Over time, this simple habit becomes transformative. It's not about judging yourself. It's about understanding yourself and gradually becoming the kind of person you admire. So don't rush it. Growth takes time. And the fact that you're even aware of the difference between reacting and responding means you're already on the right path. Keep showing up, keep practicing, because the journey toward inner mastery is one of the most rewarding journeys you'll ever take, and it begins again every single day. At its core, this journey through Stoicism isn't just a philosophical exploration, it's a deeply human one. It teaches us how to live better with ourselves and with each other. Learning to respond rather than react is about more than personal peace. It's about becoming a more thoughtful spouse, a more compassionate friend, a steadier parent, a wiser leader. It's about building a life shaped not by impulse, but by intention. In a world often driven by noise, urgency, and conflict, the practice of thoughtful response is an act of grace and an education in itself. It reminds us that character is built moment by moment, not in grand gestures, but in quiet choices. A pause before speaking, a breath before judging, a decision to act with clarity instead of emotion. This mindset is a powerful tool for emotional well-being, but also a timeless lesson in dignity, self-respect, and resilience, values we can pass down to our children, model in our communities, and carry with us through every season of life. So here's your invitation. Start today. Notice your next reaction, pause, reflect, then choose your response. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it. And join the conversation. Leave a comment, subscribe, or explore more tools for living wisely. in an unsteady world. Your next moment could be your greatest opportunity to respond with courage, clarity, and compassion.